So, books I read in November. I read some books in November. Let's talk about them. The first two books I finished in November, I actually started in October, and those are The Metamorphosis and Other Stories by Franz Kafka. I really liked the story, The Metamorphosis, and a couple of others in here, but overall I just gave the collection 3 out of 5 stars. I also finished, I can say words, I promise. I finished Slouching Towards Bethlehem by Joan Didion. I posted a really, maniacal, weird, disjointed discussion video about this, and I will hesitantly link that down below. You can check it out if you feel like watching a crazy person not know how to speak English. Still have no idea how I feel about this, and so it's still sitting at 3 out of 5 stars for me. After that, I read 2 books for #ReadKidsLit month. The first one I finished was The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. I do not have my copy of that right now. I lent it to my sister. I really, really, really liked it. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. It is definitely my favorite Neil Gaiman book that I've read to date, and has encouraged me to continue reading Neil Gaiman. So that's awesome. I also read Under Wildwood by Colin Meloy, and this is the second book in the Wildwood Chronicles, which is written by Colin Meloy and illustrated by his wife, Carson Ellis. I didn't like this as much as the first book, but I still really enjoyed it. It wasn't wrapped up as nicely in the end as the first book was, so I think I just have to read the third book now. Shucks. I also gave this 3 out of 5 stars. After that, I finished 3 books during the 24 in 48 readathon, and I talk about these in my wrap-up, and actually did full reviews on 2 of them, so I'm not going to talk about them too much. I read Quesadillas by Juan Pablo Villalobos. I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I will link my review of it down below. I also finished LMNOP by Mark Dunn. This was a nice, fun, quick read, and I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. And I finished Alice Munro's Dear Life, which was absolutely, positively, life-changingly wonderful. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I did a whole review of it where I fangirl all over the place and don't know how to speak English, and it's awesome. I've finished 2 books since then. The first is Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking by Susan Cain. I really liked this. It was very insightful. I think I'm probably going to do a full review on it because I want to talk about it a little bit. I didn't expect to like this. If you watched my November TBR, I was kind of iffy about reading it, but it was cool. It was fun. It took me a long time to get through. It's not sit down and fly through it kind of book, but I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. And I also read Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse. This is my second Virginia Woolf. I've previously read Mrs. Dalloway, and I don't think I'm going to do a full review on this, but I absolutely love the language. I mean, reading a Virginia Woolf novel is like falling down the rabbit hole. It's like a completely different world. You get so wrapped up in her language. It's so powerful. I think I gave this 3 or 4 stars. I can't remember. It didn't resonate with me as much as Mrs. Dalloway did, which I thought was interesting because so many people talk about how life-changing this novel is. And it is. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful novel, but it wasn't necessarily 5 stars for me. And I'm currently almost done with 2 more books. The first one is Hard Times by Charles Dickens. I realized that I hadn't read any Dickens yet this year, and I really, really love Dickens, so that's kind of weird for me. This was on my TBR pile. I picked this up. I have only about 100 pages to go in the actual novel, yeah, because this is all endnotes, so I just have that much. I'll probably finish that tonight or tomorrow. I'm really enjoying this so far. And I was determined to finish this by the end of 2014. I started reading this book in February. I can't get through it. I don't know why. I just can't. This is Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy. Like I said, I started reading this book in February. I read a good chunk of it then, and then I put it down for a while because it just wasn't interesting me. I know how it ends, and I hate that, and I think that's a problem. I'm not a big fan of Hardy's language. I can appreciate it for what it is, but it's not my thing. This is dragging on and on and on. I finally downloaded the audiobook, so now I'm switching back and forth between the audiobook and reading it, so I only have just this little tiny bit left to go. I will probably definitely finish this tonight or tomorrow as well. And I will be very glad to say that I have finished it, and it is over. And sorry, Thomas Hardy, but unless someone has some outstanding recommendation that's very different from this book, I will probably not be reading any more of him anytime soon. So, yeah, that's what I read in November. It was kind of an average month, nothing. I mean, other than the Alice Munro collection, there was nothing that I really, was freaking out about. So, just an okay reading month. You will notice if you've watched my November TBR that there are 2 books that I did not read this month that were on that TBR. I actually finished all the rest of them. One was Watership Down by Richard Adams. I started it. I couldn't get into it. I got rid of it. Because I'm just not... I mean, other than Tess of the Dubervilles, because I feel like I have to read it because I started it in freaking February, I'm just not reading books that I'm not interested in or that I feel like are a chore. I'm sorry, there's weird background noise. My cats are chasing each other around in circles, and they're freaking me out. But I'm just, if I can't get into a book after like 50 or 100 pages, I'm just giving it away. Didn't love Watership Down. Got rid of it. The Lifted Veil and Brother Jacob, the 2 short stories / novellas by George Eliot that I was dreading and said I probably wasn't going to read. I didn't read again, so I gave them away. And I think with Eliot, because I've never read any George Eliot, I think I'm going to try to just dive right in and read Middlemarch first. And I think I will love that. And I think when I love that, I will be more interested in some of her lesser known works. So, there's that. Let me know what you read in November. I'm really tired today. I don't know if this video makes any sense at all. Let me know what you read in November. And if you read any of these books and have anything to say about them or have any questions about them, let me know that as well. And I will see you all very soon with my December TBR. Bye, y'all.